Reviews, discussions, and theories about films in horror, sci-fi, and genre. This is the Horror Deconstruction. Like, share, and subscribe to hear more.
What's up, everybody? It's the HorrorDeconstruction. Find us on Instagram, Facebook, most likely on YouTube. Give us a like, share, subscribe. Hit that bell icon. Hit that bell icon. Hit that bell icon. Remember, with the show with your host Comp and
Shmlam.
And for a difference, today's film is
Spiderman, No Way Home, 2021. It's the big horror movie.
yes, it's the horror of losing your identity to everyone. See, it's a horror movie.
Mm-hmm.
No, we're covering this because everybody else.
The horror of limitless possibilities.
We're covering this movie because everybody's covering this movie. Spiderman. That should have been better if that was his name, and it's just like not.
That's how Stan Lee first pitched the idea.
They were like, he was like, listen to me, Spider-Man, and he's about to say he does taxes, and then they're like, yeah, guy with spider powers. Oh, yeah, true believer, Excelsior. That's what he said. All right, Spider-Man, No Way Home, 2021. With Spider-Man's identity now revealed, Peter asks Doctor Strange for help. When a spell goes wrong, dangerous foes from other worlds start to appear, forcing Peter to discover what it truly means to be Spider-Man. Directed by John Watts, written by Chris McKenna, Eric Summers, based on characters created by Stan Lee, starring Tom Holland, Zendaya, and Benedict Cumberbatch, as well as
Is it Zendaya or Zendaya? I always said Zendaya.
You know, you're right. So there's also Jacob Batalon, Jon Favreau, Jaime Fox, Jamie Foxx, Willem Dafoe, Alfred Molina, Benedict Wong, and obviously Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire, Marissa Tomei. So this is a movie that obviously everybody saw, everybody's speaking about. This is the movie that saved cinema, quote unquote, from this plague that we're having.
Did people say that?
Yeah, because like movies don't make any money. Only superheroes make money. That's why we only see superhero movies.
Well, this is a superhero movie,
right? So every other movie doesn't make money. Like Nightmare Alley made $2, which is a very good movie, but nobody didn't make any money because it's a depressing movie. But Spider-Man, you get to see Spider-Man and you get nostalgia with it, and made billion. It's already crossing to the $1 billion, and that's what I think the Batman
1.885 billion.
And I think it's the number 2 or number 3 biggest movie of all time right now. I think it's 3. But then also, it's the same thing now.
It's a pretty good movie.
The Batman is now making money as well. So, I mean, there you go.
What is this, like the 7th one they've made in the past day? Like, what's happening with Batman? What is DC's deal?
Batman makes money? You mean the 7th Batman guy, like the actual different Batman character?
Yeah. They can't get
when
their
you make
together.
money, you'll still...
Choose a fucking actor, dude.
Well, you still make money, and you'll do it. Like Christian Bale did 3. He was out. Then they tried to do with Ben Affleck.
All kinds of terrible things make money, but this is Batman.
Ben Affleck was 4 Batman in 4 movies. He was pretty good in them, but they were not very good movies.
I haven't seen anything since the final Christian Bale one.
And I think he's going to be in the new Flash movie that's going to come out. DC really picks some weird characters to make movies out of because, like, I don't even want to get into it.
MCU shows that you could pick characters that no one has ever heard of, that non-comic book people don't know really, and make great stuff. So I don't know. Yeah,
it's like DC. The only surefire thing that they had is Batman. That's it. They don't really have anybody. Aquaman made $1 billion, so I didn't even see that coming. I didn't see that movie. I really don't have an interest in seeing that. But Batman, for the most part, always makes money.
Spider-Man anyway, I think is the most profitable always of
Spider-Man
Marvel.
For some reason is like the biggest one out of all of them, even more than Batman.
Even in the comics too, I think.
So, and it's Spider-Man. It's just, I used to be a big fan of Spider-Man as a kid.
I dressed as him 4 times as a child for Halloween.
Yeah, and I just loved the character as a kid. I remember my favorite artist. I don't even know why I just forgot his name, but I guess he's not really my favorite artist. I forgot his name. But anyway, so I love Spider-Man as a kid. I love Venom. I can't believe I'm in a world where I saw the Venom movie and I was like, I loved Venom as a kid because he's like an evil Spider-Man.
Well, it's a terrible movie.
And then there was a Venom movie, a sequel with Carnage, and that's a movie we'd all want to see. And it's just like, I didn't watch
Maximum Carnage. I love it,
and I have no interest in seeing that movie because I heard.
It's going to be terrible.
You want Venom in a Spider-Man movie, and I remember the first time I saw Venom in a Spider-Man
movie. Sony shouldn't
movie,
be allowed to touch.
the first time I saw Venom in a Spider-Man movie was in Spider-Man 3, and I couldn't believe how bad that movie was.
Do you think they made this alternate universe thing just so that they could explain why Venom sucks from Sony so much?
Well, I mean, they did the little thing here where I think they were trying to. Sony was trying to see. Sony's not run by, but there's a lady named Amy Pascal who's kind of controlling all this Spider-Man shit. And there's always videos of her with Kevin Feige, and she's saying all these things that obviously Kevin Feige is not agreeing to. She's like, "Oh, it's great to have Tom Hardy's Venom with Tom Holland's Spider-Man." And you see his face, and he's like, "Get the fuck out of here!" He's like, "I'm not gonna fucking do that. You crazy?"
He has to bite his tongue.
Yeah, he's
they could like leverage it
because they don't. Marvel does not own Spider-Man, which is you'd think Disney would like have enough money to buy all this shit.
I read I'm not sure how true this is, but apparently they had all of their stuff for sale. Not just Spider-Man.
Marvel went bankrupt back then.
Yeah, but they were going to sell off like many of their main characters, and Sony said, "Oh, no one cares about anything except Spider-Man."
But that was true.
Anyway.
Yeah, but that was true back then. They didn't.
Well, it was, but
Hulk.
I mean,
Nobody gave a shit about.
Mistake.
Nobody really gave a crap about Hulk. They cared more about Captain America. Captain America was like a nobody character. Iron Man. That's the genius of what Kevin Feige and them did. They took these characters that who gives a shit, but they put them in a real. That's the thing with like Marvel characters that I think why they connect with. I was gonna say human beings with people in general is because they seem like regular people in real world setting, as opposed to like DC characters who seem like fucking gods and stuff. And that's why Zack Snyder wanted to make them all like godlike, and it's just like you can't really connect to the characters. That's why it was different with Christopher Reeve playing Superman because he seemed like a guy, like a nice guy, as opposed to like a fucking robot in the Henry Cavill movies. I'm not saying that Henry Cavill was bad as Superman, but
I never saw them.
He seems like
because I had no interest.
He seems like he's on another fucking plane of existence. Like you can't even look at the guy; you'd be scared and run the fuck off. Anyway, back to this movie. So this is the third entry in the Spider-Man franchise. In the Marvel, I'm not too crazy about the Spider-Man movies that have been coming out through MCU. They're not bad.
They're okay.
Right. But they don't seem to have a scope of film for me. As in, like, the thing that worked for Sam Raimi's film, he didn't have to worry about MCU. He didn't have to worry about being part of connected to some universe.
Made what he wanted to make.
He made a movie that you could have made with because they were not connected to those big Marvel movies. You know what I mean?
My reason for not liking the earlier one, I mean, I do like them, but my reason for not caring as much about Spider-Man 1 and 2 is the involvement of, Iron Man in it, like, which I get.
You mean these Marvel ones? Right.
Yeah, these ones, because they have to tie it all together and everything, but it's like Spider-Man was much more independent. Like, he didn't have Iron Man holding his hand and, like, making a suit for him and everything. So, but I understand. Like, it's fine. And I like the movies. I've seen them.
Yeah, they're fine. They're perfectly serviceable
this
films.
One is oh shit.
They're smaller films. But if you compare them, and this sucks because I know I'm going to compare it to like Spider-Man 2, which is still one of my favorite like superhero movies of all
the
time.
Sam Raimi one?
It's like a movie that you could have done with this Spider-Man. You know what I mean? You could have done that type of movie with this. But it's like they're shoving in Iron Man into the movie, and then they're shoving in fucking the Avengers references. So you're like, oh yeah, Spider-Man was in the Avengers. Like, yeah, no shit, really, I forgot that he was in there.
I mean, I guess they have to, but for this movie,
they don't.
I feel like no, they kind of do. They're creating a universe, like they have to.
It gets annoying after a while, but yeah, with these, like Spider-Man was great in Captain.
Yeah, but look what it fucking opened the door for now.
Yeah, right. For Civil War 3, he was great inside, like Spider-Man.
I mean, this fucking movie is like perfection in my mind.
And Spider-Man has been fighting sort of small tier villains like the Vulture in the first film. Like the Vulture was originally going to be the bad guy in Spider-Man 3 or Part 4, but they never got to do it with Sam Raimi. In the second one, he
thank
fights...
God that third movie was so fucking terrible.
In the second one, they fight Mysterio, which I wasn't too crazy about because I like that sort of bullshit chicanery, but I guess they updated him pretty good, and they had a fantastic like special effects, like madness in that second film. But I really didn't care that he was in another country fighting Mysterio. Like I didn't give a shit.
I enjoyed that
I mean?
For just the sake of
Jake Gyllenhaal's always great. You know what I mean? So that was great. But then this one, I think they did really well with it. But it still feels like a small film. But I
You think so? I think this feels huge.
But it's like not. I don't know how to explain it.
The multiverse.
No, here's the thing. I enjoyed the movie, so don't take it the wrong way. You know me. I'm a nitpicking scumbag. Like there's small things where I'm like,
just a scumbag in general.
Well, that's true. But with this, we got a whole bunch of elements. Like I think, like because I was never really into the MJ character. Like but I understood why now in the third one I understood, like, and I think this is her best iteration in this film. Like, if you watch all the Spider-Man movies, like, yeah, really, she really is the best Mary Jane of all these movies, because Mary Jane in the Sam Raimi movie, you're just like, get the fuck out of here. Peter, go find a better, girlfriend material, because she stinks in those movies.
But Kirsten Dunst is so hot.
Kirsten Dunst, yeah, she was. I mean, she is. And but she's like, oh, man, she's like, Mary Jane is like, you're saving people, but you can't come to my opera or whatever. It's like, shut the fuck up. And then, she really wasn't in the...
No, I like this Mary Jane a lot.
Mary Jane...
I guess she's not really Mary Jane, though. She's just MJ, yeah.
I was not into the Amazing Spider-Man movies, and I feel bad for...
I liked the first one. The second one was, like, the worst villain ever. I'm glad that they made him way better now.
Yeah, with Andrew Garfield, who's a fantastic fucking actor. If you ever see The Social Network...
Oh, and I'm so happy they gave him, like, his moment.
Right. Like, everybody see The Social Network. Just for his stuff alone is fantastic in that movie. But, I think that he was a great actor put in a really piece of shit movie, and that shows you what Sony messes up their movies. But if they don't have Kevin Feige around. And obviously Tobey Maguire, to me, is still the best Spider-Man, but that's just me. I think Tom Holland is a fantastic... I think
Tom Holland is the best Spider-Man for the MCU universe. MCU, but Tobey Maguire is the best.
I think all three of these actors were actually very good choices as Spider-Man. I think they're great actors. They're all obviously great actors that they can hold movies
it's so cool when they were all interacting together. Right. Oh, my God.
So just in general idea of the film is that Spider-Man, this is such a stupid fucking premise. I understand it's a movie about...
Yeah, it's like silly the way it all starts.
Spider-Man asks Doctor Strange, he's like, hey, can you make everybody forget that I'm Spider-Man? Because I don't even know how the fuck he got off the charges of killing Mysterio. Like, it seems like they just explained it away, and I still don't remember how they explained it away. Like,
there's a court of public government connections.
There's like a court of public opinion. Like, you know that the very innocent O.J. Simpson. Remember they found him innocent, and there's people that still said he killed somebody. He's innocent, isn't he? I mean, that's what I learned.
No, shut up.
What? How dare you, racist? But like Spider-Man, Mysterio, like. You have J. Jonah Jameson, which is great to see this guy back in the movie.
Yeah. I love him. He's great.
And he's like, there's a video of Mysterio saying, oh, you killed this guy. So they exposed who he is. And, like, that's done with, like, in 5 seconds. I'm like, no, people are going to still hate Spider-Man because he killed Mysterio. You know what I mean? But I guess people are forgotten who Spider-Man is by the end of it. But he asked Doctor Strange, can you make these people forget that I'm Spider-Man? And then he says, oh, wait a minute, Aunt May. Oh, my girlfriend. Oh, my best friend.
Well, it's really Doctor Strange's fault.
Hey, no, wait a minute. Hey, Spider-Man. Spider-Man. Hey. Tell them you're Spider-Man after they forgot, you stupid asshole. He fucked up the whole thing. All he's got to do is be like, oh, listen, Aunt May, I'm Spider-Man. That's all he's got to do, right?
Yeah, but also Doctor Strange should maybe not do world-altering...
Yeah, that's true.
Universe-altering magic to help a teenager.
That's true. And I'm telling you, the guy...
It's totally Doctor Strange's fault. He could have sat him down and been like, listen, you must not do this, because if you do, this could happen. Like
that's why I think in the Multiverse of Madness, which is the worst title for a movie, he's like going to space jail or whatever they're putting him in that movie.
Yeah. Oh my God, the movie
looks good. Though, looks fun.
I watched this dude. I forgot his name. He's on YouTube. He analyzed like every
Michael Jackson.
It was Michael Jackson. No, he analyzed every single frame of the trailer,
Doctor
and
Strange,
it was like,
Doctor Strange going.
It's going to be the best.
Doctor Strange going.
It's going to be the best movie ever. Like, I can't wait.
This little boy who's trying to help Doctor Strange. He's the one going to focus on.
They're going to unlock a universe where Michael Jackson is still alive and he's going to come through.
He moonwalks into it. Anyway,
he's got like the Green Goblin flyer, but he's like moonwalking on it and shit.
Anyway, when he steps on it, it lights up.
Michael Jackson just before we did.
Yeah, of course, it's funny. Michael Jackson's a very easy target. We'll find a way to put Adolf Hitler in this one too. But Benedict Wong is like that guy collects the easiest checks of like Marvel. He shows up and
I like him though.
I like him too, but he's like, I gotta get out of here, and he just like disappears. I'm like, this is how much money did he make? He had to make like $50,000 just for doing that. Please put me in the movies, I'll do that. But he was obviously also in Shang-Chi, which was a fun movie. Like, I thought Shang-Chi was great until the last 10 minutes, and it becomes like, hey, let's rally up the troops kind of movie. And it's like, all right.
I like that movie.
I liked it. I thought the action was the best out of all these movies, out of all these MCU movies.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, back to this one. So Spider-Man decides to I forget what was the point of the movie. He forgot it, and then he was trying to take that box away from Doctor
Strange.
Strange.
He distracted them so much to make them forget that he quote unquote killed Mysterio or who he is. Oh no, he didn't want anyone to know his identity. What the fuck am I saying?
Right, yeah.
But he messed up the spell so bad that it like unlocked universes and now other Peter Parkers and villains.
And he was he took away the box from Doctor Strange because he didn't want people to forget or something like that. He didn't want certain people to forget.
Well, the only way to
because Strange
fix
was going to turn it back to normal anyway.
Well, he was going to do it by making everybody forget Peter Parker, period. So his own aunt wouldn't remember him and shit like that, because that's the only way to fix it. So he's tried to stop him from doing that. Basically, Peter just made everything horrible.
Yeah.
But really, Doctor Strange did it.
So there was a giant video game for the PS4 or PS5 called the Spider-Man game that people like love. You can watch like footage online. It looks incredible. And I didn't really notice that there's a thing called Feast, which is a thing. It's like food for homeless people and stuff like that. It's this organization that Aunt May and Peter Parker are a part of, and you actually see the truck inside of it. It's in the game, and I was surprised to be in it. But the reason why I'm bringing that up is that the bad guy of the video game is called Mr. Negative, I think his name is, and he's like an Asian American character, and he looks cool as fuck. He looks like if you took a negative of a Polaroid of a person, that's what he looks like. Right. I don't necessarily know what his powers is, but I'm
picturing the bad guy from the Batman, the cartoon, remember? Or Batman Beyond.
Oh, Batman Beyond. I know what you're talking about. Is that the guy who fell through the floor or something?
He's like radioactive or something.
Yeah. But they're saying that Glenn from The Walking Dead might play him, and I was like, yeah, that's perfect. I was like, that'd be fucking great if he was the bad guy for the next
He's
Spider-Man
a great
movie.
Fucking actor.
He's really good. Everything, that guy just is really good. Anyway,
we just did that other movie with him, with the fucking corporate world
Mayhem.
that there's that virus. Mayhem. That's a good movie, everybody.
There we go. There's a horror movie in this episode. So we're bringing back, obviously, all the villains, and Spider-Man has this conundrum of, like, these villains come over to this world for some reason, instead of being, staying in their world. In their world, they all die. I think the only one who didn't die? I know one of them didn't die.
Well, they were gonna die, but they
Electro didn't die, did he, in his movie?
I don't know. I watched that movie once.
That was weird because there were elements of it was supposed to be the Sinister Six, but there's only Sinister Five in this movie for some reason. Jamie Foxx is Max Dillon, who's one of the worst villains.
Thank God they made him better.
Electro is such a cool character, and then they like turned him into some blue weirdo in that other movie. He was like a nerd. He was like a normal, he was just like a bank.
No, but it was terrible. That movie was terrible.
It was terrible. And here he's normal. They don't explain why he's normal. I guess he controlled his electricity to make him look like a regular person for some reason. And he's fun, but like the introduction of some of these villains is like so bizarre. Like Sandman is back, right? And they let him live, so he didn't die in the Spider-Man movies. I remember that. Unless Spider-Man let him go. I was like, oh, you helped kill my uncle? All right, bye. I forgive you. Goodbye.
Yeah, it could have been like a different point. It's a little vague.
I guess, but he comes back, and what's weird is that he's just a sand person for the whole movie. I don't know whether this is because they were filming it during the plague. But like, even
it'd be cool if they replaced him with the sand people from fucking Star Wars.
If you watch the Book of Boba Fett, I'm sure you can enjoy that. People are complaining so much about Boba Fett, the show, because he's not really like a powerhouse character. They call it Beta Bet or something. These, how these people are. But the funny thing about Boba Fett as a character is that Luke Skywalker kicked him into a pit. That's what happened in the movie. That's all I remember. I don't remember being this gigantic.
Yeah, he kicks. Well, not even. He kind of gets backed into his jetpack, which goes haywire and makes him go in the pit.
People are treating a character who fell into a pit like this because people build their own lore of a guy because he looked cool. You know what I mean? So when they see him in the show, I thought it was fine. So go watch the Book of Boba Fett. It's fine.
I want to see it. I haven't
show. I enjoyed it.
I only hear negative things about
people are stupid. I don't care about them.
I know. You're right.
I'm right. I'm smart. But so Jamie Foxx comes back, and the funny thing about also with the Sandman is that when he turns back to normal, they just use footage from the old movie, and they repurpose it. So I was like, what's going on with that actor? Like, he's a very good actor, the guy who played Sandman. And then also Lizard, to me, I don't care about the Lizard. Like, I find that character boring. Reich Ifans, the guy who plays him, is a fantastic actor. And he's there for they at least gave him a good line. Like when he couldn't believe that Spider-Man is dating MJ, he's like she's going out with him. That's funny. Obviously, the two main big bad guys.
Willem Dafoe is so fucking such an asshole in this. Oh my god,
Willem Dafoe can be in anything. He'd be fantastic. Yeah. I mean, even he's obviously just watch him in The Lighthouse. People get bored out of their
Oh
mind.
God, that's the best movie. And you know who else is in? Robert Pattinson.
Yeah.
I didn't know a thing about him except he was in that dumb Twilight series, and he's amazing in that movie.
And also he's in
Lighthouse.
He's in The Batman. And people were saying that Willem Dafoe would be great as the Joker, and I'm like, yes. I've always been saying that if he would be great in Batman. But then like Willem Dafoe even said himself, he's like, I'd like to be, if they make Joker 2, because like Joker is like the respected the DC movie, you know what I mean? Yeah. He said, what if I was like a fake Joker competing with him? And I'd be like, oh God, that's even better than I would imagine. You know what I mean? Like I'd love to see that. Just
Willem Dafoe is just amazing. He's so good at playing a complete creep.
And he's fantastic in this. And it was so funny because like the part where because he doesn't wear a mask at the second half of the film because that terrible fucking green mask that he wore in the original movies. And like now he just sort of has the suit on. And he has his face where he's mugging and everything, which is great. And like he looked like the house that Jack built. This the part of the house that Jack built. When he's walking around with that red hood at the end of the movie, he looks just like him. And I was laughing. That's a fantastic movie. That's another horror movie recommendation. There you go, kids. And also, obviously, we have the fantastic actor Alfred Molina as Octavius, who is more of a tragic.
I was so happy they brought him back.
Of course, yeah. He's like. People love, like, I think people love him more than they do.
Dude, I was like cheering in the fucking movie theater.
I think what it is with Alfred Molina, because Octavius was actually like a legit complex hero, a villain character, like a tragic hero, tragic villain. Jesus Christ! And like he turns good at the end, so he also turns good in this one. And so people like that, you cannot lose with Willem Dafoe.
I mean, there's definitely like
Molina.
The Deus Ex Machina of Tony Stark's whatever the fuck it's called, the thing that just builds anything you want.
Nano machine crap, yeah.
Yeah, like I mean, obviously that technology.
I realized he didn't have that. He didn't have that AI in the suit in this one. Like it wasn't talking to him like it was all through the first and second movie.
I guess after the shenanigans of last time.
Yeah, but there's a funny clip online of behind the scenes of Spider-Man 2, where like Sam Raimi is walking Alfred Molina into a scene. He's like, "Listen, this is how I want you to act." So he takes him into a room, and it's Willem Dafoe wearing Dr. Octopus's suit, and he's overacting. And they're like, "Oh, this is great! You gotta watch it. It's a funny clip online."
Okay.
But I think as a whole, like I thought Zendaya was great. Even Ned was a character that kind of got to get used to because he has such.
I liked him always
in the first film. He's funny. He's great because I think this was like.
I mean, this Spider-Man rendition is MCU is comedy.
The only thing that's bizarre about like Ned Leeds, Jacob Batalon, is that he's bald, and that is the worst wig.
Is he bald?
He's bald. I don't know if it's bald by I don't know if it's bald by choice. I think it maybe I don't know what it is, but he's just bald.
He got I can't think of the word, but where hair
alopecia?
Falls out.
No, because he has his eyebrows. I think your eyebrows get lost because if you watch the show Barry,
I never would have known that was
Danny. You've got to see Barry. Please see Barry, the show on HBO. Please see that show. I'm begging you to see that show. You will love that show. Barry's about this a hitman that accidentally stumbles into being like a theater actor. It is. Okay. I know that premise sounds like, oh boy.
No, it sounds funny.
No, it's with I don't know why I'm not remembering his name. Bill. He's the guy from SNL, whatever. Bill something. Fantastic show. And there's a guy with actual alopecia who plays like this Russian gangster. Oh, no, not Russian. Oh, the European people will be pissed at me. He's this actor from another European country. I forget. And like he has real alopecia.
Be careful.
He has. Oh, I know, right? He has real alopecia and he has no eyebrows. That's how I know all that stuff. But anyway, Ned Leeds is fantastic in this. Obviously, Zendaya is fucking incredible in this movie. Like, this is where I was like, oh, okay, good. She's not just like
she's an amazing actress.
Because like the part when she throws
I was so sad at the end
when she throws the dinner rolls at Andrew Garfield. That was fucking funny. And then you see, but okay, so we got Andrew Garfield and we got Tobey Maguire. They were good in this. Like.
I fucking
you got what you wanted
was like almost crying. Like I love.
I will say this: as much as I did not like the Amazing Spider-Man movies, it got me when he saved Zendaya, when he saved MJ, and he started crying because he saved it because he could not save Gwen Stacy in the other movies, and I was like, literally, I was like, oh man, Tobey Maguire is there. It was funny.
It was so good.
Tobey Maguire kind of held this film back from because there was a point where they were gonna make it without him because he was like he wanted some more money. That's why probably you don't see. That's probably why you don't see him in many movies. But he fills his role well. Like, he's the OG. He's basically, if somebody saw Christopher Reeves was alive, like if he came back in a Superman movie, he'd be a fucking skeleton. That'd be scary. But if like they're people's OG, that's very disrespectful of Christopher.
He comes in riding the horse that threw him. Oh man,
the horse has
it's like a skeleton of the horse.
It's like escape on.
It's like the apocalypse. The four riders.
This is very rude of us. But yeah, I think even John Favreau is happy. Boy, Marvel, why are they killing off the babes?
Yeah, that was very sad.
Why are they killing off the babes?
But you know what? That's part of Peter Parker. He needs to lose a loved one.
But you think that would already happen because Ben has already been dead, like Uncle Ben, unless they did say Uncle Ben in the original movie.
Yeah, but he wasn't dead due to his actions.
That's true. But May Parker, Madonna Mia, this Marissa Tomei, ooh, she's so sexy. Good God! And of course they got rid of her. I'm like, what are you doing to my?
Yeah, I was very sad.
But people were right. Like when she said,
I feel bad for Happy too. Why do they have to do that to him? Make him break up with her first and then kill her too? Ugh.
Yeah, she didn't want that weenie. It was so funny because like obviously, and then there's also Daredevil comes in, and he shows up really shortly.
That's opening a whole world too.
I think so. Man,
it's how are they juggling all? I guess we should probably wrap it up soon. But like, how are they?
What were things that didn't work for you with this movie? Do you think there's anything that worked with you?
I mean, what I'm about to say is kind of what didn't work for me. But like, I'm faithful that they'll fix it. But it's just like they're opening up like 500 possible storylines, and my fear is it's going to be like that show Heroes, where like they do a whole season and then that guy Hero just time travels and makes it all irrelevant.
They're all walking a tightrope. Or am I going to say tightrope? Yeah. Now you see Sony is going to fuck it up with movies like Morbius, which is supposed to be in its own.
I just won't consider that canon.
I know, but the weird thing is that it has. What's his name in it? Michael
from Eternals.
No. It has who? Who does it have from the Eternals?
Jon Snow. Oh wait, no.
He's in
never
Morbius?
mind. I'm completely wrong.
They have the Vulture in it, so that is directly tying Spider-Man from this MCU into that.
They could just shrug it off and say, "Oh, it's another universe." But
they also had posters on the wall that had Spider-Man that said "Murderer" on it, which was the direct Mysterio reference. Unless they're gonna completely scrub that up, I bet you Kevin Feige wakes up and sees this trailer and like, no, and his hat flies around in a circle. And anyway, but it's like so. Anyway, that's that. Morbius is coming out. They're gonna make a fucking who's that guy who had the lion wrapped around him, the one that beat Spider-Man. Not Krang. The Hunter, Kraven the Hunter. He's getting his own movie. They're making a Madam Web movie, which is like this woman who controls all the Spider-Men around the universes.
Who is Sony or MCU?
Sony, obviously. Sony.
Oh, okay.
And they have that really beautiful hot chick from 50 Shades of Grey playing her.
Listen, let Sony do whatever the fuck they want. Because MCU can always just come in and be like, that's just a different timeline where yes, Mysterio also existed and that all happened, but it's not the main one. They're gonna make a movie about that guy with the high voice, the big guy. Hey, Spider-Man, do it for it's because I treat it like Loki was the one that kind of brought everything in now. What I mean? Loki is a big one too. The way it ends, oh my god.
Right. So
if you guys haven't seen that, I'm sure you have.
It's a great show. Yeah, Loki.
It's really good.
Loki is important with all this multiverse shit that happens. Obviously, they're bringing
so many
in
loose ends that need.
So now, the reason that people are going crazy because it had Andrew Garfield, and it showed how Andrew Garfield is probably the best actor of all three Spider-Men. Like, not to take away from Holland, but he's just actually such a good fucking actor that you're like, he only have like a couple scenes. You're like, damn, man, this was a fucking good Spider-Man. What was he in? He wasn't in any other Spider-Man movies. But they're like,
about him outside
now they're like, oh, maybe we could put him in the Tom Hardy Venom Spider-Man movies. And I'm like, anyway, so with the Spider-Man franchise, what didn't work for me was just kind of the small story elements. But I thought, and as a whole, who gives a fuck? It's a giant action movie. It's a Spider-Man movie. Who cares? It's fun. It's MCU, right? They're giving the people what they want with this movie. It's fine. People complain about it. There was one of these idiots that loves pushing that racist agenda shit. Like this guy's point on this movie. He was like, Spider-Man was $1 billion movie because it wasn't woke, man. It wasn't woke movie. And I'm like, Hey, did you
Oh,
look at
boy.
MJ? Did you look at MJ Zendaya? Is that a white person, or is that
wasn't
her whole
woke.
point is that she's not a white person? She even brings up about slavery. So stop changing the narrative for your horse shit. People liked it because it's a good movie. It's not
What,
because you're
what do you
crap.
want? What do you want to give this movie? What's your
It's a solid 9. Entertainment factor wise, it's a solid 9. As a movie, it's probably like a 7. But as solid entertainment and not giving a shit about all the other horse shit, it's a 9 out of 10. Having your lawyer save you from a brick being thrown from your high rise, even though how the fuck do you throw a brick that high up? Danny, what rating would you give Spider-Man No Way Home?
Okay, I agree with you. I give it a 9. I want to give it a 10, but no, I can't give it a 10. I give it a 9 out of 10 due to your childishness and irresponsibility. You killed your hot aunt
Yeah.
and deprived the world of her beauty.
Yeah. Oh, it really, truly is.
And deprived your benefactor of her sex. Although she deprived it of him herself, so right before dying, and he has to live with that.
People, I cannot stress to you how hot that woman is. She's Marissa Tomei is like what 50 something. She's hot,
Yeah.
bro. She is so hot. This is a sexist review. I apologize for that.
It's okay.
If you want to see her in a fantastic movie, go see The Wrestler, where she plays like a stripper.
How can it be sexist if I like it?
Yes, and then see her on Seinfeld when she's attracted to George, and then she finds out he has a fiance, so she throws him out. Anyway, with that, Shang-Chi I'll give a 7. Eternals I'll give a 7.5. Did you see
You
those
give
two?
Shang-Chi a 7.
You give you more? An 8?
I give it an 8, yeah.
Okay, what would you give the Eternals? Did you see
Like
Eternals?
7. A 7,
Okay,
yeah, I saw Eternal.
It's good movies, fun movies. Anyway, with that, Danny, what's the final word?
Doctor Strange 2 is gonna be really good.